What is up, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new video. Apologies for no upload last week. Something incredible happened to me last week, and yeah, I just wanted to take a week or two really to enjoy it. All will be revealed in next week's video. I'm currently working on it now, but one of the best things, to be honest with you. But anyway, you'll catch that in next week's video. Hope everyone is doing well. We are finally out of isolation, despite the amazing thing happened to me last week. Also got hit with having to isolate for 7 to 8 days, which wasn't too bad because I got to work from home, which was quite nice. But couldn't go outside. But we are back outside. So let's get into the video. Right then, so as the title of this video suggests, we are going through the 3 different types of body types. Now I'm going to go through them pretty plain and simply, and then delve into a little bit of information what you can do if you think you fit into these body type, because there are things that you can sort of change and incorporate into your training and nutrition in order to try and benefit your body type and how your body responds to resistance training and B, diet. So the first one then is what I am naturally is an ectomorph. So an ectomorph is typically someone who's quite tall, quite slim, quite a slender build, quite narrow shoulders, narrow chest, and to be honest, just generally finds it hard to put on muscle, put on fat, just put on any weight at all, really. It is quite difficult just to gain weight, to maintain weight. Typically, this person needs to eat a lot of food. Their training really should be quite sort of precise and quite minimal, quite short duration, because as an ectomorph, if you're training quite intensely, quite for a long period of time, it's only going to burn more calories, and therefore it's going to be even harder for you to gain weight. It's typically sort of me, quite sort of slim, slender, hard to gain weight, hard to gain muscle, and that's an ectomorph. The second body type then is an endomorph. This is a little bit of the opposite of an ectomorph. So an endomorph is someone who is typically a little wider, possibly wider at the hips, slightly rounder shaped naturally, finds it very easy to put on weight, probably both muscle and fat as well. If someone is an endomorph, it's very, very easy for them to gain fat and muscle. Usually they sort of gain it at the same time. Obviously I'm speaking very generally here. This is not, obviously you can do things with your training and your diet to, completely sort of transform the way your body, reacts to things. But I'm just generally speaking here. An endomorph is someone who finds it very easy to gain weight, quite slow metabolism, whereas someone with an ectomorph has a very fast metabolism. So someone who is an endomorph doesn't necessarily need to eat that much food in order to gain weight, because they just have a naturally slow metabolism. And then we move on to the third body type, which is a mesomorph, which is kind of in between the two. This is someone who's just quite sort of a solid build, reasonably wide, but slender at the same time, sort of that hybrid of both, if you will. Finds it very easy to gain muscle, also fat as well, but genetically speaking, finds it very easy to put on muscle mass. Metabolism is sort of in between the two, sort of like a normal sort of diet would get them to gain muscle. Don't necessarily have to train as correct as possible, but their body will still react in a way that builds the muscle essentially. Obviously that's just a very general, very brief overview of the 3. So now we're going to go into what you can do if you're that body type and what you can do with your training and your nutrition. So for an ectomorph then, I did mention it earlier, basically your sessions want to be as pre-planned and as perfectly executed and intensely as possible. So keep them, I personally like to keep my sessions between an hour to an hour and 15 minutes max. Obviously, doing 2-hour sessions isn't going to necessarily mean you're not going to put on any weight. Obviously a huge factor comes into diet. You can essentially, with all of these body types, to be honest with you, you can, if you get your diet and your training right, then body types don't necessarily mean that much, because you can change them. You can also be a mixture of 2 body types. You can be someone who's quite sort of slim and slender, like me naturally, but through training and nutrition as well, you can sort of morph into more of a mesomorph. You're not sort of categorized into one or the other. Other sort of factors do play a part, but an ectomorph, diet obviously is a huge factor. You want to be making sure you're eating enough, getting in enough calories, getting in enough protein, and really that is going to be first and foremost the go-to thing to get correct if you're an ectomorph, is to get your diet in check. Make sure you're eating enough in order to be in a surplus. It may have to be to be more than normal. You might have to pay, you know, spend more money on food than someone who's an endomorph, for example. So yeah, then on to the opposite as an endomorph. You want to possibly as an endomorph, you might need to incorporate a little bit more cardio if you enjoy your food a little bit more, just to sort of burn off that, you know, that excess weight, that excess fat. And yeah, session wise, you can get away with having a longer session. You know, again, it doesn't really matter. You can, as an ectomorph, you can do a 2-hour session. You're just going to have to possibly eat a bit more. But yeah, as an endomorph, diet again is going to be a huge factor, but probably in the opposite way. If you do enjoy food like anyone and enjoy, you know, eating a lot, absolutely fine. You can still make the progress you want to make. You just might have to incorporate a little bit more cardio than someone who's an ectomorph, for example. But you know, at the end of the day, it's you know, it's here or there, and over time you get to know your body and what works and what doesn't. So yeah, nutrition wise is going to be a huge factor. Protein, again, very important across all 3 body types. And yeah, training wise, possibly you can get away with a little bit longer and a little bit more cardio. And mesomorph wise then, onto training and nutrition. It's not like you can, you know, not eat hardly any protein and barely train and you're going to be some sort of like muscular unit. It doesn't work like that. But as a mesomorph, you can certainly get away with your training being a little bit more slack, your diet, you know, being a little bit more lax. Yeah, it's just the way it is. You know, your body is still going to respond well to a little bit of stimulus, and it's still going to respond well to, you know, a little bit of a surplus of food. Obviously, you know, yeah, like I said, you can't just not train and be a mesomorph. You know, not a true mesomorph potential. You can probably not train and still have quite a solid build, but you're really gonna see the most reward when you do resistance train and realize, you know, what your body is capable of doing with not little effort, but, you know, as minimal as it probably gets with relation to the 3 different body types, really. And moving on to what I briefly touched on earlier, like I say, you can be a mixture of 2 body types. Really, you can be a hybrid of them all. Over time, you know, if, for example, you've got a slow metabolism, over time you can, you know, you may not have as fast naturally a metabolism as an ectomorph, but, you know, through increasing your food over time, you can certainly increase your metabolism. You know, eat more frequently. Over time, you may gain weight in the short term that you don't want to, but over time, your metabolism will get quicker, your body will get used to that food, and yeah, you can speed up your metabolism, and vice versa for someone who's an ectomorph. You can slow it down over time. You may lose a bit more weight than you want to at first, but over time your body will adapt to that, and yeah, you know, you'll be able to eat slightly less food. Obviously, yeah, it's just the way it is. You know, as an ectomorph, you know, you're going to have naturally thin wrists, thin ankles, but in reality, who really cares? Yeah, it doesn't really mean anything. You know, you can't train your wrists or your ankles to get bigger. It is what it is. You know, as an endomorph, you know, you might have slightly you know, thicker wrists, slightly thicker ankles, but again, who really cares? You know, is what it is. It's ankles and wrists at the end of the day. So yeah, who really cares? You know, it's, you know, it is what it is. Body types are what they are. Naturally and genetically, you're given what you're given. But I think the most important take-home point is that no matter what body type you are, you can still look, you know, the way that you want to look. You know, naturally, you might not have as longer limbs as someone who's an ectomorph. But if you're, you know, a slightly shorter build, then on the plus side, you're going to fill out a lot quicker than someone who's an ectomorph. You know, if you've got long arms and long legs, obviously it's going to take a lot longer to fill them out because there's more, you know, there's more muscle to be sort of spread across. Whereas as a endomorph and a mesomorph, it's probably going to be slightly easier. So yeah, you know, there's positives and negatives to both. I mean, they're not really positives and negatives. You know, body types are what they are. You can still achieve what you want to achieve. You know, you can still, you know, as an ectomorph, you can still build wide shoulders. It just might take longer. But, you know, again, at the end of the day, if you're, you know, if that's what you want to do, then that's what you'll do. Do you know what I mean? You're putting the work to get those wide shoulders and that big chest, and, you know, that's what I'm currently trying to work on at the minute. It's taken, you know, a long time, and it's going to take a lot longer. But yeah, you know, I'm slowly getting there, slowly filling out, and yeah, you know, as an endomorph, it might, you know, take a lot less time, but, you know, it might take you longer to lose weight, than an ectomorph. But again, if it's something that you want to do, then it's something you'll end up doing, and you know, it'll be worth it in the end. But anyway, that is enough of the body types. I feel like I've said ectomorph, endomorph, and mesomorph about 1,000,000 times, so I do apologize about that. We'll be back next week with the regular uploads again. Like I say, I've got a special reveal in next week's video, so keep your eyes peeled for that. I sincerely hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, smash that like button. We are nearly on 330 subscribers, I think, which is, yeah, absolutely incredible. Blows my mind that you know, you guys felt like I'm worth watching. So yeah, I'm gonna keep putting out the content for you guys. I am, and I've said it many times, but I am seriously going to be moving on to 2 videos a week soon, because I love making these videos, and I just need to make the time more because I enjoy it. You know, obviously I work you know, 9 to 5, 5 days a week, but I can certainly get a lot done, a lot of videos. It's just excuses at the end of the day. So yeah, I need to pull the finger out of my ass and yeah, get filming, get editing again, because I do enjoy it. I know from some of the feedback that you guys enjoy them as well. Yeah, I'm signing off. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll catch you guys next week for the next one. Peace.